Hey everyone, I just wanted to stop by real quick before this podcast starts and say you should like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on all my social medias at John D. Klauser, literally the same name as the name that you subscribe to on this YouTube channel. So enjoy this clip, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this setup either, but it's super late, so I want to get this done. Buy my shirts. I have no shirts.
You got butterscotch pudding in your carpet. Let's get it out. Don't be scared. You gotta do this stuff calmly and quickly before your mama get home and beat your ass. So first you just scrape off the excess and put it in the bowl. Ooh, this look like shit. Alright, then you add liquid dish soap and go in with your hand. Just mix it. Then get a paper towel and just scrub it. No, this shit ain't gonna work. Get a spoon and just scrape off the soap and put it in a bowl. Then add some water and then scrape it off with a paper towel. Bruh, my whole fucking carpet is white. Fuck the napkin. Get a paper towel. I mean, not a paper towel. A towel and then scrub it and let it dry and then it should clear up and be. Then it should be clear. Damn, this took forever. Almost had a heart attack.
Welcome to The John Show with your host, John Doogie Klauser.
All right. What is going on, everyone? How are you? So, we are here on a new episode. Yeah, I know. I'm not really happy with this setup either. Don't think that this is going to be the setup that I'm going to be using for this podcast moving forward. But the reason why it's like this tonight, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Anyway, it's because I got this new table here, and the whole podcast behind me is set up differently. So when I do a podcast with Aaron, that show can be a lot better and look better. That's the point of it. But this is just like my solo show, so I'm just like here. Just trying to do it, just trying to get it done. Have you ever walked into a sentence, guys, and then halfway through you're like, I just don't really want to finish the sentence at all? And it's like, well, John, you have about 29 minutes, about 40 seconds left of sentences that you have to finish. Because if you don't, then what is going to be? Just a 30 minutes of you just sitting here on a microphone, not doing anything. It is so weird. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I absolutely despise this setup. And that is one reason why, is because of that, but mostly just because it's not. It looks cheap. It looks trashy. John, your set, even when you set it up, looks nice, or when it doesn't look nice, it still looks trashy because it doesn't look nice. I know. I get it. I understand this stuff, guys. I really do. I hope But we're here. It is hot as hell in this room. It is 11:45 p.m. Friday. Was it June 25th of our good Lord 2021, and it's still hot as hell in this room. But like I said, we're here to do I guess I'll do this podcast and you'll just sit there and listen to me. It's like, dude, like even the framing, all this stuff is so fucking dumb. It is so dumb. And the thing is, like, I was in such a great mood most of the day. And then I had to deal with this. And the thing is so funny is, like, I set up the table, and I got everything ready for, to be able to do a podcast whenever Aaron gets back in town. And then I'm like, John, you really should start thinking about how you want to do your solo podcast. And I just kept thinking, didn't do anything. And then Friday rolled around, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to do a podcast tonight, because I try to have the weekends free now because I'm working on that movie, and I just have other things I got to be doing during that time now. It's not just my time anymore, as much as I would love that. Don't you just love how I just burped into that microphone? But yeah, it's not my time. Just not my time anymore. So I have to be able to be an adult and be able to manage it better. How's this, guys? I'm just chilling. I'm laying back. I'm doing this podcast. Like, I'm just kind of like, dude, this podcast is going to blow. And I thought that before it even goes off. I'm like, dude, John, your podcasts suck on their own. Like, you don't need to do anything extra to make them suck. And now this one's going to sucker even suckerier. You know what I mean? So, I have a Blue Moon tonight, guys. I have a couple of new ones. I have Blue Moon, and then I have this Bud Light Lemonade. Because my old bosses at my job, they got canned and they left a bunch of beer. And I also got this. I also have this sweet tea stuff, and I drank it last night. I had like a 3-finger pull, which is like, you put your finger on the glass, like 3 fingers, and you pour it up to the top of the finger. A 3-finger pour. So if you don't know that, well, that's what it's called. And I believe I got halfway through it, and I was like, John, you're pretty drunk right now. You don't have to finish this. Like, this is a good chance for you to stop, because I don't think it'd be a good idea. That's what my body was telling me. But I was like, nope. What we're gonna do is we're gonna power through this. We're gonna drink the rest of this. We're gonna play some Madden, and we're gonna have fun. Woke up this morning, felt like shit. Was not smart. I keep moving this microphone to the point where like I'm not. You can't hear my voice. So I'm like, why am I a little dull in my earphones? And that's why. How much has this podcast gone off the rails so far? I'm like 5 minutes into it. I'm just like, dude, John, God damn it, John. Why didn't you just take a little bit more time and set up your solo podcast a little bit better? It's like, I should have done that, but I got a new light. I don't know if you guys have noticed that this room's a little bit brighter than it normally is, and that's because I have a whole new lighting setup on the back end, because I added some new lights that might be a permanent thing to this podcast, and so that's a thing. What else? I don't know. Like, should I just go right into it? Yeah. So I called I didn't call my dad. I actually totally forgot. Like, Father's Day was this past weekend. I totally forgot to call both my dads, my biological father and my adoptive dad, and tell them happy birthday. Happy Father's Day. It's like, dude, but the thing is, like, as guys, and I'm a guy too, like, guys don't give a fuck about this shit. I don't think, like, any of us, like, Father's Day is whatever. It's like, these holidays aren't for us. These holidays were not made for men. These holidays were made for women, which is fine, totally fine, for people who they associate themselves as female, as well as cis female. And what's another thing too about talking about females? I've been having a lot of my good girlfriends, like, they keep getting like I'm getting tired of like dudes calling me sir. Well, maybe if you guys didn't all shave your head, we wouldn't be calling you sir. Like, everyone looks like a dude from behind when their head's shaved. I'm sorry, I'm just letting you know. So that's a thing. But if you want to have your head shaved, things happen. Same thing with me. I had long hair. I don't have long hair anymore. People used to associate that, wow, that dude has long hair. He's probably a dipshit. And then I talk, and yeah, he's for sure a dipshit. But now I don't have long hair. I have short hair, and people look at me a little bit differently. They're like, wow, you're clean cut, like a handsome looking guy. Actually, that's the funniest thing. Like, I did just cut my hair. I don't know. It's so funny. The first thing people are like, people are like, wow, you're so handsome. And then the second thing, like, why do you cut your hair? But it's like, and I'm like, there's really no big reason. I don't know. Like, why do you wash your hands? Like, why do you blow your nose? You just wanted, I don't know, you just do it. Sometimes you just wanted something new. You just, like, I'm like, okay, I had long hair. I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, I don't want my hair down to my, to my back. Down, like, it was like down to here. So I'm like, I just don't want this anymore. And I'm just tired of having to always unclog every single drain. My sink drain, my shower drain. Those are the only 2 drains I have in my house. But I was always having to unclog them because I had so much hair all over the place. And like, I have a lot of hair. I had a lot of hair. So it was thick and it was brown people hair. So it was just a big old mess, a big old pile of mess. So I was like, well, John, I think it's time. It's been a fun time. The reason why I even grew my hair out was because I was doing, like, for film stuff. And I guess if you really want to look at it, it's like I think like every 3 years, I think you should change your image. You should change your look. I think it's a good way of just revamping yourself. Kind of it's a film. It's a thing that people like actors do, filmmakers do, all that kind of thing, because it's kind of it revamps your look and it makes you more appealing again to your target audience or people that you're trying to become your audience. So it's just one of those things. I just thought it would be a good idea. I'm 32. I'm close to the 33 that I am 32. Technically in June, we're in June. This is halfway through the year. I am halfway through being 32 years old. And I was like, I'm just really tired of having long hair. So I cut it. Yeah, like I said, like everyone looks at me. They're like, wow, you're so handsome. So I'm really thinking, guys, that having that long hair wasn't a good idea. It was kind of probably a bad mistake when it came to my looks. It was actually really funny because like maybe 2 years ago, I was in the sauna and this lady was like, you're really handicapping yourself by having all that hair. You should really keep your hair short. You'd be a lot better looking. And I was like, okay, lady. Cut to halfway through 2021. That's what everyone always calls it. Like, wow, you're a handsome man. Holy shit. Who knew? Who knew that John could be a decent looking guy if he just like cut his hair and put a little gel in it? It's like, oh, they're like, oh, look at those curls. Oh, you have these adorable curls. I was like, oh, really? Like, these are the curls that I was getting made fun of when I was growing up. It's so funny. It's like I look everything but of what I am. It's hilarious. It's one of those things. But it is easier. It's a lot easier to to go through life. It takes my hair like maybe like 2 minutes to dry versus I could have my hair in a bun all day and it still would never get dry. It's kind of weird. It blows my mind. I was like, oh my God, how could I have my hair up? I would have my hair in this in this like bun in the back. And I would just like, then I would take it all out at the end of the day. And I'm like, oh, this hair is all still damp. Still real damp. But, all right, well, we're done talking about my hair now because I think we spent a way good amount of time on that. What up? This is the setup. This is the table, like I said. It's a new one. It actually comes out a lot further. It's going to look really cool when I'm shooting like a podcast with another person, but doing the solo one, this whole place looks like shit. I'm just so upset by it. I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to bitch and moan about it. It's like, and I really don't have anyone to blame. Who do I have to blame other than myself? It's like, John, you could have just took time. You could have took longer before doing this podcast. It's like, and if you really cared about how this podcast looked, then you could have done that, and this podcast would have looked a little bit better and different instead of you leaning on back on a damn table, thinking that you're like what. I'm just strutting, but you know what they say, like every great album, always has that lean back or something like that. I don't know. I don't like this. I don't know. I have a whole laundry list of things to talk about, and I'm just kind of like, well, let's just keep on going off the top of your head. So, the pandemic is ending soon, or I guess it's ended. I don't know. Does anyone know? Do we still know? It's like we're probably like what, day 200 out of COVID. We beat COVID. No big deal. And so, how there was a lot of people on, unemployment. What's so funny is like, I am so late. I like to look at myself and I think like I'm a hard worker, but yeah, there's some things I'm so lazy with. And one of the things I was like lazy with was like, I did have a film job. And then the film job kind of went on hiatus because I had to, because of COVID. And so during that time, like a lot of people were like, well, John, why don't you just get why don't you just go on unemployment and you can just, do your stuff and all this. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I just don't like doing that. It took me a half a day and I had 2 jobs and so it was like, I don't understand. Like, but the thing is, what I'm getting at is that I am so lazy in the sense of like, I didn't even want to look up. I don't even know how. How do you look up and apply for unemployment? I have no clue how you do that. Like I'm like I have to Google something and then like read it, and like it's not even like story read. It's more of a like an adult like, oh, this is like life or death situation kind of shit. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather just get a job. I'm just gonna get a job, and I'll kind of worry about shit after that, because this is something I don't really care to do. Like I'm that lazy with that kind of shit. I do not want to. I don't know how. Like, do you Google? Like, do you Google it? Do you like unemployment yourstate.com.gov? Like, I don't know. I really don't know, because I never applied for unemployment. I've never done any of that kind of stuff. So I was like, think about it. I'm just like, no, I'll just get a job. That seems way easier. That seems significantly way easier to do. And then I could just be stoned at that job. Not that I smoke pot or do anything like that. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Guys, I drink this. The only time I ever pick up an alcoholic beverage is on this podcast. I only do it for you guys. I do it because I'm trying to, like, we're having a conversation. We're interacting with each other. That's what this is. You guys have never talked once. So granted, I've never really given you guys an opportunity to respond. So, New Belgium, or Belgium White. Like, it's Blue Moon's okay. It really is for me like a 1, maybe 2 beers at most. That's it. After 2, I'm done. I'm like, I'd rather just drink Natty Light if that's all you have left. Blue Moons or Natty Light, I'm gonna drink Natties. I could not imagine drinking a 6-pack of this dog shit, because that's what it is. All alcohol is just dog shit. I don't want. I'm not even like last night. Like even just drinking a 3-finger pour, I'm like, I think I got hungover from this. I woke up and I'm like, oh, this fucking sucks. My stomach hurts. And like the thing is, like, it wasn't my head, it was just my fucking stomach. I'm like, this fucking sucks. This is not fun. It's not fun for me. I mean, like, okay, so I don't know if I ever told you guys. So I used, like, a couple months ago, actually I feel like I probably have I had to have talked about this on my podcast before, because it's such an easy, low-hanging subject fruit. But anyway, I will say it. I was like, I used to drink like a tall boy. Like, just like, a 24 ouncer. And I would just drink one. I drank one a night. And I did that for a week. And after a week, I was like, actually, not even a week. It was 5 days. I did that 5 days in a row. And I was like, John, you got to stop this, because this is kind of making you a piece of shit. And that's the thing, is like, I don't ever want to have those shakes. The alcoholic, the shaky handshakes. So I've worked with so many people that had that, where like they'd be completely fine. Like around like 4 o'clock. Would roll around, like you could start seeing their hands like start shaking when they start doing stuff. And I'm like, guys, why are you, like, you're younger than I am. Like, we're the same age. Like, what's going on? Like, why are you doing that? I don't do that. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, and I'm over here thinking I'm a big pile of shit. Like, if I do anything at all, any sort of like, any kind of sort of fun. And if I have any sort of fun, I'm always thinking like, oh, can't be doing that, John. Got to calm down. You don't like, John, you're such a big piece of shit. Like, this is what floozies do. This is what people who don't, pay their taxes do. That's not you. You can't do that. Like, you can't have fun. Like, it's so weird. It's like, to me, like, this is fun, but this is also kind of like a job kind of thing, because I look at it as a job, because I want to be a filmmaker, and I just feel like this is something that you should do as a filmmaker, because it's easy. You have a camera up, you have lighting, you have to do a whole situation. So it's like, it's practice. So why would you not do it? But yeah. Oh, no wonder this beer tastes like shit, because it was supposed to. I think the expiration date was August 24/20. Huh. Well, anyway. That's done. So yeah, next thing is like a Bud Light. I feel like I'm one of those like Instagram people. Like, hell, here's what it is. Let the camera focus on it. No, it's a Bud Light Lime or lemonade. I've never had one of these before. I'm sure it's going to be horrific. I know you guys are all waiting on bated breath to see, like, oh, let's see his reaction to this. This has become a reaction video show. Huh. Yeah, that tastes like dog shit. Okay. Oh. Oh my God, that's awful. So, you guys want to know something that I think about at least once a week? Is that my parents are like rather religious, and we did a lot of traveling growing up, and so one of the places that we'd go to all the time was Israel. And going there, you go to the Wailing Wall, you go to Jerusalem, you go to Bethlehem, you go to these tourist attractions as well as like these significant cities, because it's just fun to go to them. It's just fun. It's a good time, and especially like for me, I enjoy it the most too. It's like that's where I really found my faith, was going to these when I was super young. So like the first time I went, I was like, nah, eight or nine, and we went to the what was it called? It's like this. Oh God, you know what? I'm such a fucking asshole in this sense. Okay, here it is. Oh, the Rock of the Covery. And we went there because my parents were like, my parents were they were very open and very fluid when it came to religion. We had a Quran, we had a Bible, and we had a Torah in the house. My parents were super cool with that kind of shit. They were just like, hey, we want you to learn it. We want you to be able to understand all of it because you're going to go in the world. Because their whole mindset was like, well, you're going to go to a good college, and this college is going to have a bunch of people from all over the world. And because of that, you need to know where all these other people come from. So you have a base understanding of like why they act the way they are, why their culture is the way it is, those kind of things. And like religion tends to be a big factor in that system. So we went to the Rock of the Covery or something like that. And that's where they have like this hole, and you put your hand down into it, and it has the rock in which they put the cross that crucified Jesus. Now, in retrospect, it seems like it'd be kind of cool, but the thing is, like, it was one of the most creepiest things in the world for me. It's like I never got. I'm like, this is gross. Like, I don't like this. I don't like the fact, like, and please, no one take offense to this, but for me, it seems like Christianity is like the most. It's not. Yeah, no. For me, it was so scary growing up because it's like all these crosses, and there's a dead guy on a cross, and then people. It's just weird, and there's always like, it's not just that, but then like everyone wants to get so flamboyant with it. Like how like not extreme, but how graphic or how artistic can we make this depiction of a man getting killed be? And growing up, I'd be looking at this, I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It just scares me. And two, as someone who practices being Jewish, I don't Jesus was a Jew. I don't understand, like, why would you just not be a Jew? That doesn't, to me, that's where it ends. That's where it starts. And like, and the things at the end of the day, I don't believe what you want to believe, but like, that's just if you were to ask, like, why are you Jewish? Well, right, I'm Jewish. I think I just like the belief the best out of everyone. I think it has the most. And then going to like the Dome of the Rock and just going to Israel all the time, I just was able to see this beautiful culture and just the fact that like being adopted into it as well, that it was just one of these things that like it just made sense to me the most. And plus I'm kind of like Moses in a way, like, because Moses was, a Jew, and then he went down the river, and then he ended up like hanging out with a bunch of Egyptians, and I'm Egyptian, and then I ended up like not going down a river, but I ended up like being with a bunch of Jews. So it kind of was like the same story, pretty much, for the same part. So it's like it just makes more sense. And then like just my middle name's David, John. It's all Hebrew. It's like I'm heavily Hebrew named out. So it's just like, it's like, well, I don't understand. I don't see how, Like, huh? What is he? What would you be, huh? What are you, John? Since your first and middle name are both Hebrew, so. But yeah, like we'd go there all the time, and every time I go, I'm like, this is creepy as shit. This is so creepy. I'm like, my parents were like, then they would make fun of me about it. Like, why don't you put your hand down the hole? I'm like, I don't want to put my hand down. Like, no one wants to put their hand down a garbage disposal. Like, why in the fuck would I want to put my hand down a big hole? Because the hole is like roughly like that big. It's a decently sized hole. So it just didn't make any sense. And I'm just like, this is kind of weird. This is just kind of weird that we're like going and we're touching a rock in which the man got killed on, allegedly. So that was the thing. Does anyone put ice in their wine? Anyone? I don't see what's wrong with it. I wouldn't do it, but I don't see what's anything wrong with it. There's a lot worse things you could be doing with your life than putting ice in your wine. But I feel like that is a hard move, man. That's a very specific move to do. If you're like that, like there's like, if I were to describe to them like, hey, like, I was like hanging out with someone I know and they put ice in their wine, there's a certain image you get of a person who does that. So maybe that's why it's looked so down upon, or like people are like, I don't fucking do that shit. I don't do that. Like, I mean, but I'm like, I'm drinking a Bud Light lemonade. It's like a seltzer water. It tastes like lemonade, but it's gross. It's nasty as hell. Honestly, out of all this stuff, like, oh, it's so goddamn gross. It is so gross. Has this podcast gone anywhere at all? At all? Oh man, what else do I have? John McAfee died. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with him? You know that FireWire or that security like virus protection thing that you used to get on your PCs growing up? Like if you were the 90s kid, you definitely understand what I'm talking about. Well, he died. He was into scats. He was into scat sex. He used to have like all these Belize women like sit in a hammock and then he would sit underneath it and they would shit on him. It was very weird. He died in a Spanish prison in Spain. Yep. Makes sense. That seems like a place where it would all end. And he may or may not have killed himself. We don't know. No one knows yet. But, John McAfee, if you're out there, I'm saying like I would never. I don't condone your actions, but I don't know. You did kind of kill someone, so I do have to say, don't do that. Allegedly, you all allegedly. No, you know what the thing is? He's dead now. He's passed away. So, like, we don't know. He's never going to get prosecuted for it, but alleged, and so I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. It really was weird. Can't believe that, and then you burnt down your mansion in Belize, and the Belize and government was after you. But the thing is, like, apparently he killed himself because he was going to get exported back to America, and I'm assuming he was going to get charged for some shit here. And so that's why they killed him, or that's why he killed himself. I don't know. But that's something that's a thing. What else? Baseball's gotten dumb. Oh, that's just dumb. Like the whole like wiping down players, like the pitchers, because they do good. It's like, your whole sport's based around cheating and having these stupid ass unwritten rules, which are dumb. Like, okay, please explain this. So if a team is losing, what they will do is that like they can have like, they'll have like their shortstop will be like, oh, I want to pitch for a while. He'll come in and he'll pitch because it's like 13-2. There's no need to like bust out some like pitcher's arm to pitch for a game that's like completely out of reach. There's no way there's no way they're gonna win this game. But the thing is, like, you're not supposed to swing at a 3-0 pitch. For apparently some reason, this is an unwritten rule. It seems kind of stupid. If you know you're going to get a strike right down the middle, you just fucking do that, you fucking asshole. It's like, it doesn't make any sense why you want to do that. And then, like, but the thing is, like, a coach got mad at his own player on his team for hitting a home run from doing that. And he's like, yeah, like, I had to scold my player. And, like, I think that's gross. It's like, but that team already gave up. They gave up and they put in a fucking shortstop to pitch in a major league game. Okay, it's like, okay, all right, that makes a lot of sense, you dumb fucking asshole. And this Bud Light lemonade tastes like shit. It's fucking awful. Don't get this stuff, guys. Like, Bud Light's not good as its own, and like Bud Light's not trying to we're like, okay, shit. Well, we need to also have bubbly, shitty, fucking tasting water that has alcohol in it too. So how can we make this worse? Make it super sour by making it lemonade. This is fucking dumb. But yeah. So guys, we have like 30 seconds left before this podcast goes out. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I know this is such a weird setup and this was such a weird thing. If you sat and watched through all this, thank you so much. And I'm looking right at you. If you didn't, well, hey, just pretend. Just pretend you didn't, and, you go your way, I'll go my way. But if you did like this, like, comment, and subscribe. Just thumbs up. Thumbing up helps so much.